And welcome back, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 15 on the Calm Farm. In the last episode, we purchased this beautiful John Deere, and then we mowed, windrowed, and baled our first two fields. Now, it wasn't a life-changing amount of money. It was £2,500 there, which is great. It sets us on our path, and it allows me to start buying a few more bits and pieces. But before we start flashing the cash again, I think it's time to bolster up that bank balance with a few contracts. Yes, we are still going to be dependent on contracts for the foreseeable until we have enough land to sustain ourselves. It is a process. It is a pretty long process, but that's the name of the game. It's not a race and it's not a rush. So let's get stuck into this baling contract and then have a look around for some more work while we wait for this grass to grow. Here we go. It's quite a healthy contract. This one, it pays quite well, and it definitely gives me the idea that perhaps we should be making silage, wrapping our bales and selling them for a bit more of a profit. And later in the game, I will need silage. I will need baled, wrapped bales. So it probably is a good idea to get one sooner rather than later. But is it worth it this early on? Decisions. I'll come to that later on, I think. In the meantime, let's get this one finished and see what else is out there. And here we go, we're just wrapping up the last one. Baling contract, good money. I think this is about 3,500, which is always nice. And if you look in the background there, you can see our new John Deere sitting there proudly. Now there we go, it was 3,500. Beautiful. Let's collect that. And let's have a look what else is around. Oh, mowing on land 44, plot 44. That's right next door to ours. So we can go and grab the old John Deere and our mower and get stuck into that one without straying too far away from home. Perfect. And with this being the first time we're going to use our own equipment for a contract, I think I'm going to run it myself. And look at it go. Exciting times. Exciting times. I think I'll buy this plot as well as soon as I've got enough money, because 3 fields, silage, hay, grass, all in one area, so close to the farmer's market. It's a bit of a gift, really. So why on earth not? Right, let's zip through this. I'll see you on the other side. And here we go, we're about to wrap this one up. It always feels a bit weird leaving a field incomplete when the contract ends like that. There we go. Just left a little bit of a landing strip there. It just feels messy. But mowing that field, I think I definitely will be targeting buying that one as soon as possible. So let's collect on this one and let's have a look for something else to do. The fertilizing ones look pretty good so far, but I can't remember if I've got fertilizer or not, and that stuff cuts into your profits before you even start. Storm picking looks pretty good. Let's take that as a start. Let's get our gear down there. And we've arrived. Turns out I do have fertilizer, so let's pick up some healthy looking contracts and maybe set a worker off to earn some cash for the company. And let's get to it. One of the best things about fertilizing contracts I find is that if you've got plenty of fertilizer left over from previous jobs, it doesn't cost too much to start off, but you can compound your earnings by hitting multiple fields with one bucket load, so to speak. I can't quite remember how much I had. There we go. The crates dumped on a curb over here. Feels like so long ago I was doing fertilizing contracts. I think that was about 12 episodes ago maybe. But who's counting? Well, it looks like I will have to grab another pallet's worth because I don't want to run out. There's nothing worse than having to come all the way back to restock. But if I fill it up, at least I can return later after the contracts are finished and block that curb off again with another pallet, which is probably something that the local council and pedestrians won't really appreciate. So I'm going to start thinking about building a little hard standing storage area up on our land. The only problem with that so far is it's at the top of the map, and it means if I need to do any work down the bottom end, there's a long trek to go and restock. And there we go. There's a couple of cheeky contracts completed. Let's leave him run that field. Let's have a look at 44. 72,000. That's not unreachable. It's only 15 grand away. So I think we need to get stuck into a few more. Well, not a contract like that. That would be great, but they're a pain in the neck. But I think a couple of cotton collecting contracts would certainly get us on our way, especially with only £1,000 to lease the equipment. That's nice. So yeah, let's pick that up. This will be my third contract, so I've got to finish off the spraying first. Anyway, let's make headway with this one. We can get this down to the field, make a start while our worker fertilizes the north fields, and then we can pick up cotton contract number 2. I'm always a little bit nervous driving these things across a bridge. They're wide, they catch cars like there's no tomorrow, and as we know from the AI traffic, they don't mind getting stuck. They really don't. They'll drive right at you, stop, and then wait for you to move. And yeah, I can always imagine them just sitting there stubborn, shaking their head, sipping their coffee because they've got nothing else to do. But I never switch them off because it's fun having them around. It gives you a reason to be cautious when you're driving, a bit more considerate when you're driving. Not that you're going to offend anyone, but it adds that little element of realism that you should be considering. Really, you should be thinking about, or at least that's my opinion anyway. Right, let's get to the field and let's get harvesting some cotton. See you soon. And here we go. Let's get Big Red moving. Something. Oh, didn't quite get that right. What haven't I done? There we go. When it starts working, it is probably one of the most satisfying jobs on the entire game, because you get that, look at that difference. What you've collected, what you haven't collected. It looks great. Fair play. So I'm going to zip through this because 10 mile an hour is, well, that's a long old slog for a video. So I'm going to get to the end of it and then collect it, deliver it, and get paid. I'll see you shortly. Well, that was pretty good. That was a good haul, I think. Notice how we managed to merge two bales Is that right? Yeah, 2 cotton bales together from 2 different contracts because the harvester wasn't full from the first contract. So apply efficiency and common sense and smash them both with one run. So let's get this up to the spinnery and collect our prize. And as we approach here, I've got to admit I really want to get my hands on an industry soon. I did have a quick look at the price of the spinnery earlier, and it's a little bit out of reach. But one of the good things about it is when we do manage to get it, any cotton contracts, cotton harvests will start paying us rather than them. But then you've got to consider, are we going to get as many cotton harvesting contracts as we need to keep the place ticking over? So we are still a little bit below what we need for field 44, but I think a couple more contracts and we will be there. So that's a wrap for episode 15. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to drop a like, and if you can, subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.